In the vast expanse of space, where stars twinkled like distant beacons of hope, humanity had found a new home. Nebula 9, a planet shrouded in mystery and promise, had become the cradle of human civilization's rebirth. The colony, established generations ago, had flourished against all odds, carving out an existence on the harsh alien world. Commander Arias Dung stood at the observation deck of the colony's central hub, her eyes fixed on the swirling, iridescent clouds that gave Nebula 9 its name. The sight never failed to take her breath away, even after all these years. But today her gaze was tinged with worry, her mind preoccupied with the challenges that lay ahead. "Commander," a voice crackled through her comms, breaking her reverie. "We've detected something unusual." Aria's heart raced as she made her way to the command center. The colony's advanced sensors, constantly scanning the depths of space for any sign of their long-lost home, Earth, had picked up an anomaly. As she entered the room, the air thick with tension, she was greeted by the anxious faces of her team. "Report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the anticipation building within her. Dr. Elias Chen, the colony's chief scientist, stepped forward. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by barely contained excitement. "Commander, we've intercepted a signal. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before." The holographic display in the center of the room flickered to life, showing the complex waveform that pulsed and shifted in mesmerizing patterns. Aria leaned in, her eyes narrowing as she studied the anomaly. "Alien?" she asked, the word hanging in the air like a spark ready to ignite. Elias nodded slowly. "It appears so. The signal doesn't match any known human transmission patterns. And its origin," he paused, his voice dropping to a whisper. "It's coming from deep within the void." The void. The name alone sent a shiver down Aria's spine. It was a vast region of space, devoid of stars or any detectable matter, that lay beyond the borders of their explored territory. For years, it had been considered too dangerous to venture into, its mysteries left unexplored. "Can we decipher it?" Aria asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. Elias shook his head. "Not yet. The encryption is beyond our current capabilities. But, Commander, there's more." He manipulated the display, zooming out to show the signal's trajectory. "The signal, it's moving. And if our calculations are correct, it's on a direct course for Nebula 9. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Whatever had sent that signal was coming their way. Friend or foe, the unknown entity would reach their home in a matter of months. Aria straightened, her decision made before she even realized it. "Prepare the Stargazer," she commanded, referring to the colony's most advanced spacecraft. "We're going to intercept that signal." The next few weeks were a flurry of activity. The Stargazer, a sleek vessel designed for deep space exploration, was outfitted with the best technology the colony had to offer. Aria hand-picked her crew. Elias, for his scientific expertise, Maya Patel, their top engineer, and Xander Ko, the most skilled pilot on Nebula 9. As the day of launch approached, a mix of excitement and fear gripped the colony. This would be humanity's first contact with an alien intelligence, a moment that would define their future among the stars. The night before departure, Aria found herself once again at the observation deck. The swirling nebula outside seemed to mirror the tumult of her thoughts. "Quite a view, isn't it?" A voice came from behind her. She turned to see Xander, his usually carefree expression replaced by one of quiet contemplation. Aria nodded, grateful for the company. "I've always found it calming," she admitted, a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Xander chuckled softly. "And yet here we are, about to embark on a mission that could change everything." He paused, his tone growing serious. "Are we ready for this, Commander?" Aria considered the question carefully. Were they ready to face an unknown alien intelligence, to potentially defend their home against a superior force, or to forge an alliance that could reshape their understanding of the universe? "Can we decipher it?" Arya asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. Elias shook his head. Not yet. The encryption is beyond our current capabilities. But, Commander, there's more. He manipulated the display, zooming out to show the signal's trajectory. The signal, it's moving. And if our calculations are correct, it's on a direct course for Nebula 9. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Whatever had sent that signal was coming their way. Friend or foe, the unknown entity would reach their home in a matter of months. Arya straightened, her decision made before she even realized it. Prepare the Stargazer, she commanded, referring to the colony's most advanced spacecraft. We're going to intercept that signal. The next few weeks were a flurry of activity. The Stargazer, a sleek vessel designed for deep space exploration, was outfitted with the best technology the colony had to offer. Arya handpicked her crew: Elias, for his scientific expertise, Maya Patel, the top engineer, and Xander Coe, the most skilled pilot on Nebula 9. As the day of launch approached, a mix of excitement and fear gripped the colony. This would be humanity's first contact with an alien intelligence, a moment that would define their future among the stars. The night before departure, Arya found herself once again at the observation deck. The swirling nebula outside seemed to mirror the tumult of her thoughts. Quite a view, isn't it? A voice came from behind her. She turned to see Xander, his usually carefree expression replaced by one of quiet contemplation. Arya nodded, grateful for the company. I've always found it calming, she admitted, a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Xander chuckled softly. And yet here we are, about to embark on a mission that could change everything. He paused, his tone growing serious. Are we ready for this, Commander? Arya considered the question carefully. Were they ready to face an unknown alien intelligence, to potentially defend their home against a superior force, or to forge an alliance that could reshape their understanding of the universe? Ready or not, she finally replied, it's a journey we must take. For the sake of our people, for the future of humanity, we need to face whatever's out there. Xander nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. Well, when you put it like that, how can I argue? He gave her a playful salute. See you at launch, Commander. As Xander left, Arya turned back to the view, drawing strength from the beauty of Nebula 9. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew her team would face them with courage, creativity, and an unbreakable human spirit. The launch day arrived with a sense of electric anticipation. The colony gathered to watch as the Stargazer prepared for takeoff, its sleek form gleaming under the alien sun. Arya and her crew went through their final checks, each step bringing them closer to the unknown. All systems go, Commander. Maya's voice came through the comms, steady and confident. The Stargazer is ready for launch. Arya took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the launch control. This was it, the moment that would propel humanity into a new era. Initiating launch sequence, she announced, her voice carrying across the colony's broadcast system. May the stars guide us home. With a roar that shook the very foundations of the colony, the Stargazer lifted off. The G-forces pressed Arya back into her seat as they broke free of Nebula 9's atmosphere, the swirling clouds giving way to the star-studded blackness of space. As the initial thrust subsided and the ship settled into its journey, Arya unstrapped herself from the command chair. Status report, she called out, moving to check on her crew. Navigation systems functioning perfectly, Xander reported from the pilot's seat, his hands dancing over the controls. We're on course to intercept the signal in approximately 3 weeks. Power systems stable, Maya added from her engineering station, all subsystems operating within normal parameters. Elias, hunched over his console, looked up with a mix of excitement and frustration. The signal remains consistent, Commander, but we're no closer to decrypting it. Whatever sent this message, their technology is far beyond our own. Arya nodded, taking in the information. Keep at it, Doctor. Every bit of data we can gather will be crucial when we make contact. She turned to address the entire crew. "We're venturing into unknown territory, facing challenges we can't even imagine. But remember, we carry with us the hopes and dreams of everyone on Nebula 9. Whatever we find out there, we face it together." The first week of their journey passed without incident, the Stargazer cutting through the void of space with unwavering precision. But as they entered the second week, the true nature of their mission began to make itself known. It started with small anomalies, unexplained power fluctuations, brief glitches in the navigation system. At first, they were dismissed as minor technical issues. But as the problems grew more frequent and severe, it became clear that something was interfering with the ship's systems. "Commander, you need to see this," Maya called out, her voice tense with concern. Aria rushed to the engineering station, where Maya had pulled up a diagnostic of the ship's power grid. "These energy patterns, they're not natural. Something is probing our systems, testing our defenses." Before Aria could respond, the ship lurched violently, throwing the crew off balance. Emergency alarms blared as the lights flickered and died, plunging the bridge into darkness. For a heart-stopping moment, there was only the sound of labored breathing and the distant hum of failing systems. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the crisis passed. The lights came back on, and the ship's systems slowly returned to normal. But the damage had been done. The crew of the Stargazer looked at each other with wide eyes, the reality of their situation sinking in. They were not alone out here, and whatever had sent that signal was aware of their approach. As the Stargazer limped forward, its systems still recovering from the mysterious attack, Aria gathered her crew for an emergency meeting. The atmosphere in the conference room was tense, the weight of their predicament hanging heavy in the air. "All right, people," Aria began, her voice firm despite the worry gnawing at her insides. "We need options. What are we dealing with, and how do we protect ourselves?" Elias spoke up first, his usual scientific detachment tinged with awe. "The level of technology we're facing, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. They were able to penetrate our defenses as if they weren't even there." "But why?" Xander interjected, frustration evident in his voice. "If they're so advanced, why not just destroy us outright? Why send a signal leading us here in the first place?" Maya, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, suddenly sat up straighter. What if this is some kind of test?" All eyes turned to her as she continued, her mind racing with possibilities. "Think about it. The signal, the attacks on our systems. What if they're trying to see how we react? To gauge our capabilities and our intentions?" A heady silence fell over the room as they considered Maya's words. Aria felt a glimmer of hope spark within her. If this was indeed a test, then there was still a chance for peaceful contact. "All right," she said, a plan forming in her mind. "If they want to see what we're made of, let's show them. Maya, I want you to work on strengthening our defenses, but more importantly, I want you to find a way to demonstrate our technological prowess without appearing threatening." Maya nodded, already lost in thought as she considered the challenge. "Elias, keep working on decrypting that signal. If we can understand their language, we might be able to communicate our peaceful intentions." "Xander," Aria continued, turning to her pilot, "plot a course that shows we're aware of their presence, but not actively pursuing them. Let's show them we're curious but cautious." As her crew set to work, each tackling their assigned tasks with renewed determination, Aria couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. In the face of the unknown, facing technology far beyond their understanding, her team was responding not with fear, but with creativity and resourcefulness. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. Maya worked tirelessly, pushing the Stargazer systems to their limits as she developed new defensive algorithms and created dazzling displays of human ingenuity. Elias made breakthrough after breakthrough in his attempts to decipher the alien signal, each small victory bringing them closer to understanding. And through it all, Xander guided the ship with a deft touch, his piloting skills put to the test as he navigated the increasingly treacherous space around them. Strange anomalies appeared and disappeared, gravitational forces shifted unpredictably, and yet the stargazer pressed on. As they neared the end of their third week in space, with the source of the signal looming ever closer, Aria felt a change in the air. The attacks on their systems had ceased, replaced by what could only be described as curious probing. It was as if their unseen watchers had moved from testing their defenses to studying their responses. Standing on the bridge, watching the unfamiliar stars streak by, Aria allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. They had come so far, faced challenges they could never have imagined, and yet here they were, still pushing forward. It was a testament to the human spirit, to the unbreakable will that had carried their species across the stars. Whatever lay ahead, whatever strange and wondrous or terrifying things awaited them at the source of that signal, Aria knew one thing for certain: they would face it together, with all the courage, creativity, and curiosity that humanity had to offer. As the stargazer cruised deeper into the unknown, the anticipation on board was palpable. They were on the cusp of a discovery that would change the course of human history forever. And with each passing moment, the signal grew stronger, calling them forward into a future filled with infinite possibilities. As the stargazer approached the source of the mysterious signal, the tension on board reached a fever pitch. The vast emptiness of space that had surrounded them for weeks suddenly gave way to a sight that left the entire crew speechless. Before them loomed a massive structure, unlike anything they had ever seen or imagined. It was a sprawling network of interconnected geometric shapes, each pulsing with an otherworldly energy. The structure seemed to defy the laws of physics, parts of it facing in and out of existence, while others twisted in impossible ways. "My God," Elias breathed, his eyes wide with wonder. It's beautiful." Aria couldn't help but agree. Despite the potential danger, there was something undeniably awe-inspiring about the alien construct. "Xander, bring us in closer, but maintain a safe distance. Maya, full scan. I want to know everything we can about this thing." As they drew nearer, the true scale of the structure became apparent. It dwarfed the stargazer, making their ship seem like little more than a speck of dust in comparison. The energy readings coming from it were off the charts, suggesting a level of technology far beyond their comprehension. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the structure, enveloping the stargazer in a soft, pulsating glow. Alarms blared as the ship's systems went haywire, displays flickering with streams of incomprehensible data. "We're being scanned," Maya shouted over the chaos. They're accessing our databases, our historical records, everything." Aria gripped the arms of her command chair, forcing herself to remain calm. This was it. First contact. Everything they did in the next few moments could determine the future of human-alien relations. "Let them," she ordered, her voice steady. "Show them we have nothing to hide." As quickly as it had begun, the scan ended. The alarms fell silent, and the ship's systems returned to normal. An eerie quiet settled over the bridge as the crew waited with bated breath for what would come next. Then, without warning, a section of the alien structure began to shift and reorganize itself. An opening appeared, large enough for the stargazer to pass through. It was an invitation, or perhaps a challenge. Aria exchanged glances with her crew. The question hung unspoken in the air. Do we go in? "It could be a trap," Xander warned, his hands hovering over the controls. "Or it could be our only chance to make peaceful contact," Elias countered. Aria weighed their options carefully. The risks were enormous, but so were the potential benefits. This was why they had come, after all, to explore, to discover, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. "Take us in, Xander," she finally decided. "Slow and steady. Be ready to pull out at the first sign of trouble." As the stargazer cautiously entered the opening, the crew found themselves in a vast internal chamber. The walls pulsed with the same ethereal energy they had seen from the outside, creating patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. Suddenly, a figure materialized in the center of the chamber. It was vaguely humanoid in shape, but its form was constantly shifting, as if it couldn't decide on a single appearance. When it spoke, the words seemed to form directly in their minds, bypassing their ears entirely. Greetings, explorers from the young world, the being's thoughts echoed in their heads. We have been waiting a long time for ones such as you to reach us. Arya stepped forward, her heart pounding but her voice steady. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. I am Commander Arya Zhang of the human colony on Nebula 9. The alien being's form shimmered, as if pleased by her words. Your journey here shows great courage and curiosity. These are traits we value. But now you must be tested. Before anyone could react, the chamber around them began to change. The walls dissolved into a swirling vortex of colors and shapes, and the crew of the Stargazer found themselves separated, each facing a unique challenge tailored to their skills and fears. Xander found himself at the controls of an impossible spacecraft, navigating through a constantly shifting asteroid field where the laws of physics seemed to change at random. Maya was thrust into a virtual engineering bay, tasked with integrating human and alien technology to prevent a catastrophic meltdown. Elias was presented with a series of complex alien artifacts, each holding a piece of a puzzle that could unlock the secrets of the universe. And Arya found herself in a simulated command scenario, facing an overwhelming alien threat to her colony. She had to make impossible decisions, balancing the survival of her people with the principles of peace and cooperation that had brought them to the stars. Hours seemed to pass as each crew member grappled with their challenges. They were pushed to their limits, forced to think in new ways, to question everything they thought they knew about science, technology, and even their own capabilities. Through it all, they persevered. Xander's intuitive flying skills allowed him to adapt to the changing conditions, guiding his virtual ship to safety. Maya's creative problem-solving led her to create hybrid systems that not only prevented the meltdown but improved efficiency beyond what either human or alien technology could achieve alone. Elias's scientific mind, combined with his openness to new ideas, allowed him to decipher the alien artifacts and unlock their secrets. And Arya found a way to turn a potential conflict into an opportunity for cooperation. In her simulation, she managed to communicate with the alien threat, finding common ground and forging an alliance that benefited both sides. As suddenly as it had begun, the tests ended. The crew found themselves back in the alien chamber, breathless and exhilarated. The shape-shifting being regarded them with what seemed like approval. You have done well, it communicated. Your species shows great potential, but there is much you must learn before you are ready to join the galactic community. Arya stepped forward, her mind reeling from the experience, but her determination stronger than ever. We are eager to learn, she said, to grow, to understand. Will you teach us? The being's form shimmered again, this time resolving into a more stable humanoid shape. That is not our role, it explained. We are but caretakers, guardians of the gateway. The true teachers lie beyond, in the heart of the galaxy. But the journey there is long and fraught with danger. Are you prepared for the challenges that await? Arya looked back at her crew, saw the determination in their eyes, the burning curiosity that had brought them this far. She knew the answer before she spoke it. We are ready, she declared. Whatever challenges lie ahead, we will face them together. The alien being nodded, a gesture eerily human-like. Then prepare yourselves. The true test is about to begin. With those words, the chamber began to shift once more. The walls parted, revealing a swirling vortex of energy, a gateway to the unknown. The crew of the Stargazer stood at the threshold of a new adventure, one that would take them further than they had ever dreamed possible. As they prepared to step through, Arya couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. They had come seeking knowledge and friendship, and though the path ahead was uncertain, they had already achieved so much. They had proven that humanity was ready to take its place among the stars, to face the unknown with courage and creativity. The gateway pulsed, beckoning them forward. With a deep breath, Aria gave the order. "Let's go, team. The universe is waiting." And with that, they stepped into the light, ready to embrace whatever wonders and challenges the cosmos had in store for them. As the energy of the gateway enveloped them, Aria felt a moment of disorientation. Colors swirled around her, and she had the sensation of moving at impossible speeds. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The stargazer emerged into a new region of space, one that defied description. Stars of colors they had never seen before painted the cosmos in breathtaking hues. Nebulae twisted into impossible shapes, and in the distance, they could see structures that dwarfed even the gateway they had just passed through. "Where are we?" Xander whispered, his usual confidence replaced by awe. Before anyone could answer, a fleet of ships appeared around them. They were sleek, organic-looking vessels that seemed to be alive, pulsing with energy. A voice, different from the Guardian they had met before, resonated in their minds. "Welcome, children of Earth," it said. "Your journey has only just begun." As the alien fleet surrounded them, not threateningly but protectively, Aria realized that they stood at the precipice of a new chapter in human history. Whatever came next would change everything they thought they knew about the universe and their place in it. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, the crew of the Stargazer prepared to embark on the next phase of their cosmic adventure, ready to face whatever challenges and wonders awaited them in this new frontier of space. The Stargazer, dwarfed by the massive alien fleet surrounding it, was guided through the dazzling expanse of this new region of space. Commander Aria Zhang and her crew watched in awe as they passed by cosmic wonders beyond their wildest imaginations. Stars that pulsed with rhythmic beats, planets that seemed to phase in and out of existence, and vast living structures that defied classification. As they traveled, the voice that had welcomed them continued to communicate, flooding their minds with information about the galactic community they were about to join. They learned of ancient civilizations that had risen and fallen, of cosmic threats that threatened the very fabric of reality, and of the delicate balance that kept the universe in harmony. "Your species is young," the voice explained, "but you have great potential. You have been chosen to represent humanity in the Galactic Council, to learn from those who came before, and to add your unique perspective to the cosmic tapestry." The implications of this statement weren't lost on Aria and her crew. They had come seeking knowledge, but now found themselves thrust into a role they could never have anticipated: ambassadors for all of humanity. As they neared their destination, a massive space station that seemed to be built from crystalline structures and living energy, the alien voice took on a more serious tone. "But be warned," it cautioned, "great challenges lie ahead. The universe is vast and full of wonders, but also dangers beyond your comprehension. Are you prepared to face them?" Aria looked at her crew, saw the determination in their eyes, and knew the answer. "We are ready," she declared, her voice steady and resolute. No sooner had the words left her mouth than alarms began blaring throughout the Stargazer. The serene cosmic landscape around them suddenly erupted into chaos as a massive dark entity emerged from what seemed to be a tear in the fabric of space itself. "The Void Devourer," the alien voice said, now tinged with urgency. "An ancient evil that consumes entire galaxies. We have long held it at bay, but now it threatens to break free. Your arrival was not by chance, humans. You are here to help us face this threat." The crew of the Stargazer watched in horror as the Void Devourer, a writhing mass of darkness that seemed to absorb all light around it, began to attack the alien fleet. Ships that had seemed invincible moments ago were being swallowed whole, disappearing into the inky blackness. "What can we do?" Aria asked, her mind racing. "Our technology is nothing compared to yours. How can we possibly help?" The response came not from the alien voice, but from Dr. Elias Chen. "It's not about technology," he said, his eyes alight with sudden understanding. "It's about perspective. We think differently, approach problems in ways they might not have considered. That's why we're here." Maya Patel nodded enthusiastically, already pulling up schematics on her console. He's right. Look at the energy patterns of that thing. They're chaotic, but there's a rhythm to them. If we could disrupt that rhythm, we could destabilize it. Xander Coe finished, his hands flying over the navigation controls. But we'd need to get close, really close. Aria felt a surge of pride in her crew. Faced with an incomprehensible threat, they weren't cowering in fear, but rising to the challenge, their minds working in perfect sync. "All right, team," she said, her voice filled with determination. "Let's show the galaxy what humans can do. Xander, get us as close as you can. Maya, work on a way to amplify our energy signature to disrupt that thing's rhythm. Elias, I need you to coordinate with the alien fleet, explain our plan." As the Stargazer maneuvered through the chaotic battlefield, narrowly avoiding debris and energy blasts, Maya worked feverishly to modify their systems. Using the knowledge they had gained from their earlier challenges, she created a hybrid human-alien energy pulse that, if their theory was correct, would disrupt the Void Devourer's cohesion. Elias, meanwhile, found himself in mental communication with dozens of alien minds simultaneously, explaining their plan and coordinating the fleet's movements to give the Stargazer its shot. The moment of truth arrived as Xander guided their ship to the very edge of the Void Devourer's event horizon. The darkness loomed before them, threatening to swallow them whole. "Now or never," Aria said, her voice steady despite the fear clawing at her insides. Maya activated the pulse, and for a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly at first, but with gathering speed, the Void Devourer began to destabilize. Its inky blackness started to fragment, shots of light breaking through its once impenetrable surface. The alien fleet, coordinated by Elias, moved in, their weapons targeting the weak points created by the Stargazer's pulse. In a spectacular display of light and energy, the Void Devourer collapsed in on itself, shrinking down to a singularity before disappearing entirely. As the dust settled and the crew of the Stargazer caught their breath, they found their ship once again surrounded by the alien fleet. But this time, it wasn't just protection they offered, it was respect. The crystalline space station loomed before them, its doors opening in welcome. The alien voice, now filled with warmth and gratitude, spoke once more. "You have proven yourselves beyond our highest expectations. The Galactic Council awaits you, representatives of humanity. Your journey among the stars has only just begun." As the Stargazer docked with the station, Aria turned to her crew. The pride she felt threatened to overwhelm her. "We came seeking knowledge," she said, her voice thick with emotion, "and we found so much more. We found our place in the universe." The crew nodded, each of them feeling the weight of what they had accomplished and the promise of what was to come. They had faced the unknown with courage, creativity, and an unbreakable spirit. They had shown the best of what humanity had to offer. As they prepared to disembark and meet the Galactic Council, Aria knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. They had proven that humans, despite their youth as a species, had earned their place among the stars. The doors of the Stargazer opened, revealing a vast chamber filled with beings of all shapes and sizes, each representing a different alien civilization. At the center stood a group of entities that seemed to be made of pure energy, the High Council itself. As Aria and her crew stepped forward, ready to begin this new chapter in human history, they carried with them the hopes and dreams of their entire species. They had embarked on a journey to explore the unknown, and in doing so, had not only discovered the wonders of the universe, but also the incredible potential that lay within themselves. The High Council's collective voice resonated through the chamber, welcoming them formally. "Representatives of Earth, you have shown great courage, ingenuity, and compassion. These are the qualities that bind our galactic community together. Today, we extend to you not just membership in the Galactic Council, but a challenge to bring your unique human perspective to help us solve the greatest mysteries of the cosmos." Aria stepped forward, her voice clear and confident as she addressed the assembled aliens. On behalf of humanity, we accept your challenge. We come seeking knowledge, offering friendship, and ready to work alongside you all for the betterment of the universe." As the chamber erupted in a chorus of alien sounds, their equivalent of applause, Aria and her crew knew that this was just the beginning. They had opened the door for humanity to take its place among the stars, to explore, to learn, and to grow in ways they had never imagined possible. The Nebula 9 colony, once a lonely outpost on the edge of known space, would now become a beacon of hope and a bridge between Earth and the vast galactic community. And as for the crew of the Stargazer, their adventures were far from over. They had a universe to explore, allies to meet, and challenges to overcome. As they looked out at the assembled alien races, each member of the crew felt a sense of purpose and excitement for what lay ahead. They had embarked on this journey seeking answers, but had instead found a whole new set of questions that would drive humanity's exploration of the cosmos for generations to come. The stars had once seemed cold and distant, but now they beckoned with the promise of new discoveries, new friendships, and new challenges to overcome. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning, and the crew of the Stargazer was ready to lead the way into this brave new frontier. As the formal proceedings of the Galactic Council began, Aria exchanged glances with her crew. In their eyes, she saw reflected the same mix of awe, determination, and excitement that she felt. Whatever the universe had in store for them next, they would face it together, carrying with them the indomitable spirit of humanity. The journey that had begun on a small colony in a distant nebula had led them to the heart of a galactic civilization. And now, standing on the threshold of a new era for humanity, Aria and her crew were ready to take the next step into the unknown, to explore, to learn, and to show the universe the true potential of the human spirit. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.